I welcome both of the esteemed panelists as well. I'd like to give a short introduction about GPF India before starting our meeting. GPF India is a peace building organization working towards community driven peace building and intercultural understanding and developing value driven youth leadership with the vision of one family under God. GPF India promotes the idea of one family under God through the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which tries to foster an understanding that the whole of humanity is one family. So, since today is International Mental Health Day, and on this occasion, we wanted to bring a variety or a diversity of audience as well as the diversity of speakers to contemplate on this burning issue. And that is why on this occasion, we have organized this webinar. Here, the focus is on mental health at workplace, highlighting the critical importance of creating supportive and healthy work environments. The theme underscores the need for employers to recognize the impact of workplace culture, job demands, and organizational practices on employees' mental health. By promoting open conversations, providing access to mental health resources, and implementing wellness programs, organizations can foster a culture of support that prioritizes mental well being. This proactive approach not only enhances employee satisfaction and productivity, but also contributes to a more resilient workforce overall. In India, the pressure of modern work life can lead to significant mental health challenges. For instance, a tragic case in Bangalore highlighted the severe consequences of workplace stress, where a young software engineer took her life due to overwhelming job pressure and a lack of support. Such incidents underscore the urgent need for organizations to prioritize mental health resources and foster supportive environments. Increasing awareness and implementing effective mental health strategies can help mitigate these issues, creating healthier workplaces and improving overall employee well being. With that, I welcome all the participants and our distinguished speakers. I'd like to give a small introduction about myself. My name is Shaivya. I am program coordinator at GPF India, and I have organized this seminar. And I feel that the question of mental health is an extremely burning topic. Very less in our lives when we grow old and we start working in office environments, we get very little time to think about our mental health because the complete office culture is based on doing the tasks and achieving the performance, basically completing the deadlines and performing according to the guidelines. So, on this occasion, it is a great honor and a great opportunity to discuss on this important topic. Now, before inviting our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. T.P. Sasikumar, I'd like to give a few instructions to the participants. You can keep your videos on during the complete webinar, but when the speaker is speaking, kindly keep your mics muted. Now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Sasikumar. And invite him as well. Before that, I'd like to give a small tribute to legend Ratan Naval Tata, a great philanthropist who passed away last night. He was a great, valuable person for Indian population as well as for the entire world. And I'd like to share one of the quote regarding the mindset of people that he has shared, that none can destroy iron, but its own rust can. Likewise, none can destroy a person, but their own mindset can. And so, the issue of mental health is ever so prevalent, and I'd like to give a small tribute to Ratan Naval Tata, one of the biggest philanthropists in the entire world. Now I would like to invite Dr. T.P. Sasikumar. Dr. T.P. Sasikumar is the founder and chairman, of Shiksha Gnanam. Dr. T.P. Shiksha and former Deputy Director, Directorate General of Security, Cabinet Secretariat, Government of India, Delhi. This is just a little introduction, but no words will fall short of any thing that I can say about our speakers. But still, I have tried to sum the treasure of experience and wisdom that our speakers have in their lives. Dr. T.P. Sasikumar is a distinguished educator and mental health advocate with a rich background in science and academia. After serving in the Space Department and as the Deputy Director in the Cabinet Secretariat, he dedicated his life to mentoring youth. He has influenced over 600,000 teachers and 1 million students through innovative programs and workshops. As an author and speaker, he inspires personal growth and civil service aspirations. His holistic approach integrates education, spirituality, and community service, earning his numerous accolades. Now, without wasting any more time, I welcome you, sir, and I ask you to take the stage and enlighten us with your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Namaskaram. Thank you, Shavya. We met last 10 days back. 10 days back I was. Namaskaram. 10 days back I was there in your office. We had a great conversation. Markandeya ji is doing a great job. And all on a sudden this webinar on a very vital topic under the umbrella of GPF. The World Mental Health Day is celebrated because of the federation, which is the global federation, which started in 1949, I think, 1949. So, but most of the time, though Bharatiya Shastra, the Indian tradition, talks about fivefold development: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual. Probably the most advanced countries mostly discuss about the physical development and the social development, but not in between. Intellect is part of making money, getting job, work. So this webinar, which is a combination of the workplace and the mental health, I understand it has got physical, emotional, intellectual, and social. Probably the solutions could be found in the spiritual world. What is it planning? Why is it being celebrated? We have to raise the awareness. No seminar or webinar can solve problems. It is only to raise the awareness in the community so that people know, oh, this is where I can reach out. This is the counter where I have to look at it. So it's mostly giving an awareness. Think about the people, connect to people who are working in same field, make them to exchange the situation so that somebody's experience can be used for solving some other problems. So when I look at it, the mental health indicators, like what is my target? I take a quote from same Ratan Tata, who said, none can destroy iron except the rust. The rust in the iron depends on the environment in which the iron is kept, number one. What is the coating given? Because we have an iron pillar which is not rusting for long years, millions of years probably. Why is it not rusting? The reason is it has a cover. So every one of us should have a cover which will make us to protect from the environment in which we are. It is not the workplace who creates problem. I am not having a sufficient cover around me to protect me. That is the problem. We cannot run away from work. We have to be in the workplace. How do we combat with all the problems around me? The backbiting. What are the protections which I have to take when there is a problem around me? Is what we are supposed to look at it. We cannot change the workplace as easily because I am not the controller of the environment around me most of the time. What is that which creates stress for people? The mental health, when we talk about how do I take care of the stress? What are the impacts? What are the process? What are the reasons behind it? So the formal sectors of working environment, we cannot make a common platform and say everywhere this is the problem. No, because each place and time, the work culture in the work culture in the Indian structure, Indian culture, Indian environment could be entirely different from somebody else who is working in the Western world. We have to look at the perspective, understand the position, the environment, because I keep saying I created a formula called performance P is equal to attitude, skill plus opportunity. Opportunity is the environment, skill is my ability, and attitude is what we are discussing today, where I have to decide how am I going to combat with the problems around me. The Bharatiya tradition discuss this with a deep inner meaning which don't solve problems for temporarily but solves problems for permanent way. That is why we go into the deep rooted texts. It's there in Vedas, it's there in Upanishads, and therefore it is can be seen in the most profound text of Bhagavad Gita. We know what is Sattva, Tama, Rajo. These are all the mental state of the people with which the purity, balancing and harmonizing, understand the inertia, delusion, probably the darkness and the brightness. How do we get into those aspects to solve the problems? Bhagavad Gita clearly explains it's a mental state of Arjuna in his workplace. His workplace is the battlefield. And he is not able to solve his problems. He is not able to fight. He is totally in depression. So probably a character we have in full depression is Arjuna, as recorded in the oldest of the oldest textbook probably. And Dr. Krishnan, I call it as a psychotherapist. He is a psychotherapist. He could counsel Arjuna and make him to be in action with the full vigor. And there is a question, where did he get this ability to? Where did Krishna learn his counseling therapy courses? So we have to go back to his previous Janma, the previous life of Krishna and Rama, in which Vasishtha gave the lecture. And Vasishtha was the first person who wrote a textbook on mental care in the whole humanity. And that is called Yoga Vasishtha. Purne manasi sampurnam jagat sarvam sudhadravaihi upana gudapadasya nanu charma strutaiva bhuvu. Purne manasi sampurnam. Everything is as your emotional, the feeling, what you think about the world is what the world is for you. Purne manasi sampurnam. Jagat sarvam, the whole world. Sudhadravaihi upana gudapadasya. If I have to walk on leather carpet everywhere where I go, I don't have to have a leather carpet everywhere. I can have a leather footwear and walk. So I feel like having everywhere the leather carpet. I want to see happiness around the world. Sukham. Sukham is what everybody wants. I want to see Sukham everywhere. I must carry Sukham wherever I go. What a beautiful concept. I don't think anybody can give a better example than what Vasishtha has given as a lecture to Rama when Rama was psychologically down and he wanted a counseling. So the first psychotherapist is Vasishtha, and the first patient in psychological problems and trauma, probably unable to decide what he wants, not respecting his own father, was his problem. Dasharatha, the richest of the richest king, had a son who was not respecting him, not listening to him. He was sent to Vasishtha. So Rama could be the first patient who took a treatment from the first psychotherapist, Vasishtha. Why is it happening? Because there is a small content of sattva, tama, rejo, guna in all of us. It could be slightly more for some people. Sattva can be more percentage. For some people, raja can be more percentage. Some people, tamas can be more percentage. So when darkness, laziness, ignorant, sorrow, sleep, delusion, this happens, it is in the tapa guna. Bhagavad Gita 14th chapter, 17th sloka, Sattvat samjayate jnanam. When you have sattva guna, jnanam comes. Rajaso lobha evacha pramado mahau tamaso bhavado atnanam evacha. When you get tamas, you get into atnanam. When you get sattva gunam, you get jnanam. This is what the distinction is. So when your mind is so calm, cool, not diluted, I'm sure you get into the action. And the sattva gunam is what gives you a solution for problem, or probably you will work for solutions for problems when you are in the tamasika stage. 18th chapter also you can see some slokas. Ayukta prakrdaha stabdaha, I think 28th sloka. Shatho nishkritiyo lokasaha vishadi dirgha sutrija karta tamasa uchyate. When you are not able to concentrate, your own feelings under which you become a slave, even a person with a lot of ego have his own problems and he forgets what is to be done around him. He becomes a tamasik. He is not able to get into actions. So this is the biggest problem. And in an environment, generally we have a lot of assume that you are so powerful, you are doing, and you are a sattvic person, but your environment need not be sattvic. There could be rajasic and tamasic people who find fault with you, who find disturbing you all the time, backbiting. All these are part of everybody's life and environment in the modern world. That is where the topic is very relevant today. It is not that what happened 5,000 years back. It is happening every day in everybody's workplace. So ahimsa, non-violence, cannot be a solution for most of the time. You cannot be a boss with ahimsa. Sometimes you'll have to give punishment. You need that truthfulness, satya. Everywhere satya cannot work because people around you are not in satya, they are in asatya mode. Astheya. You cannot live without stealing. You'll have to steal. You will have to show what others have done. Sometimes you don't declare where you got this. You cannot declare because that is the work ethics. We have got a individual dharma. We have a professional dharma. We also have a dharma which needs to be considered when we are in real problems. So each instant it can be different. So these have to be understood with the context of ahimsa, paramo, dharmaha, satyam, param, tapa. All these are good. But where, when, why, how, that is to be understood very carefully. Understanding and discussing about the stresses mental health, as from the today most famous solution for all the problems is yoga. The Patanjali, he himself starts with yogena chittasya patena vaja. That means yoga is not for a physical fitness, but for a mental fitness. Yogena chittasya. Chit is manas, mind, and mind is a reflector. Manam darpana samanam. Adi Shankara says, mind is like a mirror. What you reflect from your senses, the pratyahara, the dharana, the concentration, will make your mirror to be for convex lens or concave lens. You can increase the intensity and reduce the intensity. Managing your stress depends on how well you can think about the chit, and that is mostly being explained in many of the Idihasa Puranas. Yogena chittasya patena vaja. Ramana Maharshi, later probably one of the most renowned saints of India, also talks about by breathing exercise you can dilute your mind, but that is not a permanent solution. It comes back to you. It comes back to you because you are not able to stay in the state, because environment keeps you to create troubles. That is what today we are talking about. You may be a strong person, but you don't have a satsang. So your workplace is 6 hours. Maybe at home you have got another 10 hours. We have 8 hours. What we have to do with our own activities. Identify some time in that for creating satsang, discussing each other. All the solutions doesn't come by closing your eyes and sitting in a place. It doesn't happen. Ramana Maharshi says, prana bandhanat liyate mana. With holding your breath and doing all that pranayama exercise, many people call it as meditation, but I have not seen a person who is really meditating. If somebody has courage, they must go into electroencephalograph and then check whether the brain is dead or not during meditation. Samadhi is a state in which your mind is totally into no vibration, straight line. Very rarely. We have a Himalayan, I'm from a Himalayan tradition meditation master, Swami Rama. But I have not seen many people who could subject themselves for the EEG to show that yes, I am ready for such a check during my meditation. They fail. Terribly, people have failed. So, prana bandhanat liyate mana. You hold your breath, probably your mind will become diluted. Jala pakshivat dinarodhanam. Immediately after that, when your pranayama is over, meditation is over, 10 minutes I will meditate. I am in calm. But then you are in a hurry to do, you have to run to the working place and you are in a hurry and finished. All that is gone. The distress comes on not when you are closing your eyes. You should open your eyes and then combat with the problems around you is what is the real life. So not running away from the workplace is the solution. Facing the workplace in a calm environment is what is really the state of mind is good. And that is what we have to acquire. The stress factors can be seen in the basic Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and balancing them can be one of the solutions. We have King Janaka as an example, Yajnavalkya as an example. I am not elaborating on these aspects because we have less of time. We will take it up. Maybe probably somebody is interested. As I told you, this is only a trigger for making people to connect each other. In Karma Yoga, everybody has supposed to do that, but we should not get bounded to the situations. If I am there in an office, yes, I can do, I can support, I can give whatever I can. But that doesn't make me a person who will become a bounded person to the office. I am not bounded to the office. I am attached to the office because that pay me. But I am not bounded to the office. There is a lot of difference. If I am bounded, that means I will become a beggar there. Even if they throw me out, I'll start crying. If you are having good ability, that means your skill is great. If environment is not good, I can say go to hell. I will find a better place for you. That ability people should have. Who are the suffering people? The suffering people are who are intellect is not very great, probably physically is not great. They are not able to perform well. That is why our tradition says Sharira Manaso Yoga Paraspara Manuvrajet Athara Atheya Bhavena Tapta Jakadayoriva. The body and the mind is such related, one is connected to each other. So in these 5 elements, physical, emotional, though we are talking only on emotional, it is not independent. Physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual. All these have to be seen together. You can look at Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, everybody. That is why Ayurveda is a physical treatment mechanism, but it's a spiritual Veda. It's part of a Veda. Understand? The King Ashoka experienced the awakening not because of his position and power, the empathy, the promoting the mental health. Empathy is a state of mind, right? So fostering this positiveness, the Satya, Astheya, Ahimsa, all these have to be part of everybody's life. So one of the solution could be like the Vishwamitra story, if you hear, the spiritual practices. That's why the 5th element of spiritual practice is most essential. With this, I will close my talk. Probably if there is some question answer, some discussions required, I will come back to this and address these matters. Thank you so much. Great that, and I must thank GPF for making me part of this with a great panelist around me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm open for any of the questions if you have.
Thank you so much, sir. Your keynote address was greatly filled with lots of details and practical exercises and tips that we can follow. You started by sharing the quote of Ratan Tata and making and enhancing that quote that if anything that can protect iron from rusting is a coating. And mental health is not just about one part of development, but it encompasses physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, and social reasons, and we have to address all of these. And you shared that we need to work on our attitude, skills, and opportunity to address the issue of mental health. You shared the ancient example of Rishi Vashishta, that Yoga Vashishta was one of the most ancient person who had worked on the field of mental health. And you said that everything is an emotional feeling. So basically, everything is derived from your emotions. And you have given some examples of work ethics, like from the yoga philosophy of the Satya, Asteya, and Ahimsa, that should be addressed while working on the issue of mental health at workplace. And you also shared that yoga is one of the most important way through which we can become mentally healthy at workplace. We also need time for satsang, for discussion, to know about the mental health status and also to work upon it. And there are also some practices like pranayama, and to create a calm environment in workplace and to manage stress. Thank you so much, sir, for such a valuable address, for delivering such valuable insights. And
is there any situation in which tension and stress can be helpful for us?
I think there was an answer in the discussion what already had. Stress is always productive, and distress is non-productive. Stress is not tension. Tension is when you cross the level where your ability to perform is lost. When stress makes you to be productive, if your ability is less, your level of stress can be higher or lower based on what level you are into. So that is why I mentioned that you should have skill. you should also have ability to cope up with the society. So that is why it says your ability to perform physically you are good, probably you can stay more mentally, but physical strength is good enough to give a mental strength. Yes, for some time it is. That is why we give breathing technique for mental. Mind is nothing to do with the breath. No, it is something to do with the breath because they are related. Sharira manaso yoga paraspara manuvrajit. That is why Patanjali's Yoga Sutra says Padena Vacha. Communication is also most important. So Patanjali is considered as a teacher for communication. Patanjali is considered as a Vaidya who can treat physically. So don't understand that no, my mental strength is more, but physically I am not good. No, physically you should be good, mentally you should be good, intellectually. Most of the students, the problem of stress is because intellectually they are down. So
Thank you
intellect has
so
to be
much.
good. They can study everything. Correct.
Right, sir.
So
Absolutely.
these are all to be seen together.
Thank you, sir.